Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we are going to get into the Sagittarius Love Shadow Challenge reading. Hello everyone, welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot and to the Sagittarius Love Shadow reading. This is a different type of reading that I'm doing on my channel than I normally do. Normally I just do the Love Outlook, 7-day Outlook connection reading where I pull cards for you and your person. This is a Love Shadow or Love in Challenge, right? It's a shadow read and I'm just going to be pulling several groups of tarot deck cards to see what's going on with your person, right? So, Sagittarius, you are in love challenge with someone. There's a challenge in your relationship. Something is not quite where it should be. And so we're going to take a look at what energies are going on here, all right? So start off with energies and spirits of darkness and light to see what kind of spirits are impacting Sagittarius Love Shadow, Love Challenge. What kind of spirits, what's impacting this love challenge for Sagittarius? Show me. Spirit of communication, the spirit of the dummy, and the spirit of the book. All right, so there you have it. We have, these are the three spirits that are impacting this energy right now, or this next period of time. I'm going to say this next 7-day period. Spirit of communication. So are you talking enough? Are you calling each other enough? Is there emailing going on? Are you communicating enough, right? And they have spirit of the dummy, which is really just a feeling of cluelessness, just being quite weak. We're going to get back to that, but Sagittarius, it could just be a feeling of like somebody in this relationship is really not knowing what's going on, you know. Somebody, you guys aren't on the same page, and it almost can feel like maybe, you know, one person thinks that everything is going great and it's not, and they're not being aware. They're being kind of like a dummy, kind of clueless, or it could be the other person, what have you. But this is the energy that's here. And then spirit of the book, it's a new chapter, new development. It's also unfinished business coming up. So it could be that there's some unfinished business in this relationship or connection. Let's go further. We're going to take a look and see. Show me what's going on in Sagittarius' person. What are they thinking about? What is this person that you're having a love challenge thinking about? We're going to be pulling cards mostly from, to look at where their head is at, you know, where their head and heart is at, and then what is up with this relationship. But where is their head at for Sagittarius, right? I'm trying to get clarity for Sagittarius on the person in this love challenge. So what's going on in this person's head? What's happening, especially when you think about spirit of communication? Show me what's going on with Sagittarius, this person in this love challenge. Show me. King of Pentacles. What else is going on? Four of Wands. All right, that's the 11-11 card. So there's love here. Ten of Swords. All right. Interesting. It's over. So, Four of Wands, Ten of Swords, and the King of Pentacles. So, they're thinking about a lot of stuff. They love you. They want to provide for you. King of Pentacles. They definitely want to provide. They definitely want to be the one to bring the money in, to bring, you know, they're definitely somebody who is, you're probably, Sagittarius, dealing with somebody who does have their own business or runs their own business in some way and makes their own money for themselves. Like they're probably not working for someone else, or if they're working for a company, they're high up in the company, but they pride themselves on being able to handle the business and hold down the business. Four of Wands, they're thinking that this is it. They have met the one that is their love companion. 11-11 is the 11-11 card, right? It's the Four of Wands card, rather, right? People call it 1111 because of the Four of Wands. But Four of Wands is more to do with the stability of four in tarot. Tarot brings with it great amounts of stability. And when you meet somebody who you are absolutely equal and on par with regard to how much you respect them and how much they respect you, how much you love them and how much they love you, that absolutely equal level of intention and commitment and love and emotion is what sets it up for that twin flame journey. We have really met our match. We've really met the one. Of course, there's the love there as well. Of course, you have to have attraction, love, but the stability of it, right? The ability of it to come together in such equal ways, right? So if I'm able to give you as much understanding as you're able to give me, right? Now, we may have understanding about different things. We may disagree, but the fact is I respect you as much as you respect me to allow room for you. These are the type of equivalents I'm talking about. And this is what makes a really healthy relationship. This is not to say that you guys are exactly the same, have the same views and ideas and opinions, but it's to say that you value each other exactly the same, with the same regard. You value each other's opinions with the same regard, even though they may not be the same. And so this is the Four of Wands, beautiful, beautiful energy. And Ten of Swords. So they're definitely feeling, I want to say Ten of Swords is a feeling of really having dealt with a lot of blows to the ego. There may be some fear here because generally Ten of Swords is a completion. It's like understanding that, let me start shuffling the next set of cards. It's an understanding that it's completion, right? Tens are always completion, but it's also kind of like what completes it. It's that last sword, right? So it's that last pain. So what I'm trying to articulate here is that this person, they have gone through a lot of pain in relationships, right? And like, I would say that a pain in this relationship would almost be the final straw for them. Do you see what I'm saying? And so Ten of Swords is, you know, in this particular type of a reading, for their head to be, as you know, if we're talking about where's their head at right now, Ten of Swords is very much like they can't handle one more. Right? Now, Ten of Swords is completion, and generally it can also indicate a feeling of having gone through everything. You've had your 10th and final sword, and now you're free. You're not upset by the same things. Your ego isn't hurt by all of those same swords that it was hurt by before. But I feel like here, the 10th sword hasn't come. But your person is very aware that if they were to in some way be hurt, you know, if there was some hurt here in this relationship or some way that they were pained as far as ego or self-esteem, or they felt like, you know, something went wrong and they felt like guilty or felt like, damn, it was their fault. I don't think they could, you know, they feel like perhaps they couldn't take it. Like it would be the final straw. So they're really on edge. I want to say I feel like they're worried about it. They're worried about that 10th sword coming down. They're worried about being hurt or having to pick themselves up again after a big sort of blow to their ego. And the blow to the ego is, you know, a relationship that isn't working as well, or possibly maybe breaking up, or there's self-confidence here, right? There's self-confidence and self-esteem issues, and I feel like there's a worry here. So now let's take a look and see what's in their heart, right? This is what they're thinking about. What are they feeling right now? What's in their heart? Okay, as far as you are concerned, Sagittarius, what is this person that you're having challenge with? What's in their heart and what are they feeling really inside? All right, I'm going to do this one as a group of three, so I'm going to cut the deck instead of pulling it. What's in their heart? Show me what's in their heart in this challenge with Sagittarius. Maybe things that they don't necessarily want to reveal, well, for whatever reason, but that's truly in their heart. We have Queen of Cups, the High Priest, and Eight of Swords. Okay, so there's your toxicity coming in, right? Or else there wouldn't be challenge. Eight of Swords. So you're dealing with someone who is very emotional, Queen of Cups, right? Very emotional. But the High Priest is also High Priest here, High Priest, or the Hierophant in traditional decks, right? So not to be confused with the High Priestess. This is the 5 cards to the Hierophant. So you're dealing with somebody who really requires things to be a certain way. They really believe, a high level of commitment. In their heart, they have a high degree of commitment here, right? The Hierophant is the highest card in the deck for commitment, but it's also commitment to a certain structure, a commitment to a certain sort of, I want to say, tradition, right? So they're committed. They're highly committed. And I would say they probably are committed in a very traditional way. So you may be dealing with somebody who, even though they may not be traditional on the surface of it, you know, they may even be like really artistic and out there and all of that, but in their heart, they're very traditional. And they're very traditional about commitment and about relationships. Very sensitive, Queen of Cups. Feeling very sensitive right now, right? Very emotional, wanting to express stuff emotionally, wanting to have that emotional dialogue with you. Queens of water, cups of water. So water of water, it's really a pool of emotion. You may be dealing with someone who's a Cancer, okay, or a Pisces. Now, an Eight of Swords. Now, Eight of Swords, though, is also in their heart of hearts. This is how they're feeling. An Eight of Swords can feel like you are being put in a corner. It can feel like you're being backed up into a corner, like you're unable to make the right decision and it's not your fault, right? Eight of Swords can be a really toxic energy, depending on where it's at. But Eight of Swords here is like, for it to be how you're feeling, it can feel like you... So this is the thing with Eight of Swords. What's toxic about it is that we are always in control of our decisions, right? No one else can force us to behave a certain way or make us do something. At the heart of all of our decisions and actions, it's what we want to do. But the Eight of Swords individual is unable to make the right decisions. They feel, you can see in a card, you can see here, you know, they feel bound. Let me just get that. You see how the person is bound, they're blinded and bound. And speaks to the feeling of being restricted in some way, right? And 8 is a number for boundaries. It's a number for strength in tarot and boundaries, right? So it's a feeling of being restricted. And it's a feeling of being forced to contain yourself or forced to act or behave a certain way. And the toxicity of it is that usually Eight of Swords, the energy, of course, they have bound themselves up, right? So whatever situation this person is going through, they've created an environment where they've been unable to move or change or whatever, right? It's not anybody else's fault, or it's not anything else's fault. But at the same time, they're also saying it's not their fault. Well, it's got to be somebody's fault, right? Somebody, you know, you know what I mean? So Eight of Swords, this feeling here to me is like you're dealing with them in their heart of hearts. They're kind of feeling like they're not really facing up to the fact that any sort of restriction that they feel or any sort of pressure or stress that they're feeling has been sort of done. Has been done to themselves, right? It's been promulgated, I want to say, which is a big fancy word. It's just, it's been self-fulfilled, right? Self-fulfilled. They've done it by their actions, or they've done it by the way they see the world, the way that they think, right? An example would be an obsessive compulsive. Somebody who's like obsessively compulsively does something, and they say, well, it's not my fault. Okay, well, it may not be your fault. It's not anybody else's fault, but there's something going on with you that's making you do this, right? That's an extreme example, but yeah, in your heart of hearts, I think at the core of this, you're dealing with that feeling, So there's something there. There's a challenge here in communication. I think your person is feeling, they're going through something where they are kind of feeling helpless. They're kind of feeling like they don't have any control, but yet they have a lot of emotion. They want to talk with you. I think they definitely want to talk with you. There is a new chapter, and there may be some unfinished business here, I feel, again, also. In terms of, there may be some arguments or something that you guys have done or gone through in the past that never really quite got totally sorted out. And that may come up this week, this next 7 days. That conversation may come up. It's important probably for that conversation to come up. There probably needs to be a deeper level of communication, because if you're pulling back, Sagittarius, or something is going on with you that they don't know about because you're not willing to tell them, that you have to communicate, right? So like I said, there's a cluelessness here. And it speaks, and again, with the unfinished business, there's something to that as well. Now, I want to say, let me see, before I go on to this, because this is my crow deck, it's my message deck, and I want to close with the reading with that. Let me just pull from this deck for you, Sagittarius. I always use the traditional deck for the Quarant. You are the Quarant, even though I'm kind of looking at your person that you're having a challenge with right now. But I want to see where your head is at. What's in the heart of Sagittarius right now? Who's reading, who's looking at this? What's in your heart, really? What's going on in there for you, Sagittarius? This is where we take the mirror, we hold it up to ourselves, and let's see what's going on. How do you really feel in your heart of hearts about this connection? And let us be honest with ourselves. It's just you and me here, right? It's just you and me, and that's what I love about these videos. There's nobody else. Nobody else is here. It's just literally you, Sagittarius, and me, or your cross watcher and me. So what's in your heart? What's in the Sagittarius heart? And we're going to be honest right now so we can get a little bit of a mirror clarity here to see what's really going on. Show me. The Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, and it, okay, so this is it. Yeah, you want the love, you want it. Yeah, you want to be connected. You don't want to move on. You're not wanting to move on, really, Sagittarius. But something is going on here. So this aspect here, something about their behavior, it's not quite equal. I feel like there's not balanced here. There's an imbalance in this relationship that is bothering you. And that imbalance is probably impacting the way your person is behaving. That's why they're showing some of that Eight of Swords toxicity. But Two of Cups is a compact, right? It is a compact. It's an agreement as well, right? What I said earlier about the equality of coming together with the Four of Wands. Here with the Two of Cups, a lot of people say, oh, this is like the equal balance coming together of two people. Yeah, there is that. But it's also the agreement, right? So this is very much the agreement that we come to. This is the agreement, the covenant. We agree to be with each other. We agree. Sorry about my camera, trying to make sure it's not too shaky and clear, but we agree with the Two of Cups. You know, the Ace of Cups is the initial love. It's the initial bam. You know, the Two of Cups is the acknowledgement. We're acknowledging each other. I see you, you see me. We acknowledge that we love each other. We acknowledge that we're getting ready to start this journey together, and that acknowledgement. It's very similar to Lover's energy, but Lover's, it's exalted and there's more depth to it, but it's that acknowledgement and it is protected. That's why we seem to, it's the snakes intertwined. It's also a symbol of health, and it's that protection, that thriving that happens in a relationship when you both acknowledge that's the beginning, it's the next step. So there's that, and there is a covenant that you have with this person. There's love, but there's the Hermit also. So Sagittarius, for you, there's a desire and a need for you to be on your own. You are a natural loner. And this is making your person sensitive, because this is the aspect we're having here with these two cards, right? Sometimes when you read, there can be a spatial aspect to the tarot cards that will help you get the interpretation or the feeling. But here's the connection, right? So when you go into your Hermit, they get very sensitive, Queen of Cups. They want to know. They want to know what's going on with you. They want to know if you're all right. And this Hermit energy can also happen for various reasons, right? Sometimes it can be, you know, their clueless behavior or whatever you know, but whatever it is, it's not for lack of love, right? It's not because of lack of love. It's just you are a loner. This is a reading for a Sagittarius who may often have problems in your relationships or periods of challenge and shadow because of the fact that you are naturally a loner. You're naturally one to hermit yourself away or to do things on your own, to get into your own space. And certainly as soon as there's any challenge in the relationship, you go there also. Also, the Wheel of Fortune, things are changing right now. So there's a lot of different things that are happening that are changing for you right now, Sagittarius. And so there is just also the aspect of that, right? So this is also something that like cannot be helped. You're not doing anything to make it happen, but it simply cannot be helped, right? So Wheel of Fortune is coming in for that also. And so there's opportunities coming in. And I want to say that you may be the type oftentimes who you handle those opportunities alone anyway, and so there is a feeling to me of you hedging, Sagittarius, right? In a little way, like you hedging, you know. Wheel of Fortune, what is coming in, right? Wheel of Fortune is associated with Jupiter energy, which is your ruler. Okay, so you know, it's that kind of serendipitous, kind of lucky, beautiful, you know, lucky opportunity coming in for Sagittarius always, you know, or at regular interviews. It's just that energy. So a lot of this is just to do with your ruling house as well, Jupiter, or excuse me, your ruling planet, not your house. Just that driving force that you have to expand, to do other things, to seize opportunities, make opportunities for yourself. That luck that you almost bring to yourself, that is happening right now too. And that's really something I feel like that might be your person feels like pulls you away, because that is a very individual, personal thing for you, Sagittarius. So what are the messages for this 7-day period for this reading? What are the messages? Show me. From my crow deck, I always use this deck to get messages coming in. What is the message? What is the message we need to hear, the communication that we need to hear? Show me. Knight of Pentacles, work harder, and Knight of Cups. So 2 knights, right? That's the message. So for both of you, we have 2 knights. So that's air energy. Communicate, communicate, talk, 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 right? Knight of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. So one is about moving forward with your, with the work, right? So Knight of Pentacles, moving forward with the work, being steadfast, not being deterred, not being slowed down, being consistent, being committed to your path. And that's, I think, what you need to do, Sagittarius. Of course, the message here is remain committed. When in doubt, always remain committed to the path that you have already laid out for yourself. And this love, this connection will adapt, will change. We are talking about new chapters and unfinished business. It could be a new chapter. Knight of Cups, talking about expressing yourself, right? Handing that cup of love over and expressing yourself and talking about what it is you desire and want for each other. The Knight of Cups is the one who sweeps you off your feet. He's the one who sort of woos you, right? And so romance needs to come back in. Wooing needs to come back in. But the message is, and I think this message is probably, it's interesting because you're a cross-watcher. If you're a cross-watcher watching this also, it could very well be that this is his message as well for you, in the sense that Knight of Cups, right? You know, give the romance room to breathe. Give the relationship room to breathe. Put your love and your affection into words, so that at the end of the day, spirit of communication, the communication is there. Communicate to each other how you're feeling. Communicate to each other if you're feeling oversensitive, right? Right. There's something here. 8 of Swords. Ultimately, the deepest challenge is happening here with the 8 of Swords, which is that your person, and specifically your person in this love challenge, Sagittarius, is going through a weird period of feeling very, very restricted, constricted, bound, and unable to act or behave or move in the way they really wish. And it is frustrating them, and this is really ultimately the source of all of the tension or whatever challenge or shadow is happening here for you. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you got something out of this reading. This is the Sagittarius Love and Challenge reading for January 11th to the 18th. If you didn't see the straightforward love connection reading that I've already put up, then go ahead to my channel or go to that box that's going to pop up in a minute, and you can select that from the list. But for right now, I'm just going to say, Sagittarius, I hope you and your cross-watcher have a wonderful week. I hope you get through this challenge, and I'll see you guys at your next reading. Bye-bye now.